Katt Williams tried to warn people, and once again it seems he was ahead of everyone. Long before any official documents were released, he was already speaking out about powerful celebrities and saying the truth was hidden in plain sight. Now that the Epstein files are public, many of those old warnings don't seem so unbelievable. In fact, they feel right on time. When Katt appeared on Club Shay Shay, he didn't just tell jokes. He started conversations that Hollywood didn't want people to have. He suggested that big names, not only politicians, were connected to things they wanted kept secret. Back then, people laughed or said he was just bitter. But now, with names appearing in court papers and flight logs, it is becoming harder to deny. After the Epstein files were released, fans quickly tried to defend their favorite stars. Many people could not believe that celebrities they admired might be connected to serious claims. Jay-Z is one of the names that caused the strongest reaction.
You take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living killing our people. So how the fuck they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth about anything, they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Man.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
An anonymous accuser mentioned him in the documents, which quickly caused anger from his supporters. They said the timing did not add up, arguing that he was just starting his career in the mid-1990s and did not yet have access to elite circles. But being new to fame is not the same as being new to connections. Those are two different things. Even early in his career, Jay-Z was already spending time in powerful spaces. Old videos and interviews came back online, showing him close to industry figures like Harvey Weinstein. To many viewers, the dynamic seemed uneasy, almost controlled. People who looked at those moments again said they noticed questions they had missed before.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for mass incarceration?
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then can I ask you about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement is...
On top of that, old photos and videos started spreading again, showing Jay-Z at major parties with controversial figures. At the time, many people ignored Kanye's comments. Now people are listening to those words more closely. It didn't end there. Other celebrities named in the files are also facing new attention. Naomi Campbell's name appeared in flight records, showing she flew several times on Epstein's private jet in the early 2000s. She has publicly said she knew nothing about his crimes and that she supports the victims. Still, emails and old videos now circulating online have led many to question how much she actually knew and whether she played any role in bringing young models in under the promise of work opportunities.
Still shocked that there's nothing about Naomi Campbell really coming forward yet. I'm surprised. I'm like bitterly surprised. Her ties.
Yeah, they said her name was on the list like the most as far as like flight records.
Yeah.
She was on a lot of flights.
A lot of flights.
You mentioned
also Diddy's ex-girlfriend.
Hey.
Isn't that funny? What a small world.
There you go.
After the party is the hotel lobby.
Come on, Jack. Come on. Hey,
You want to know what's funny though?
Yeah.
Naomi Campbell is finally being dressed.
Yeah. What? Y'all ain't heard? Y'all ain't
Cruella DeVille is finally being checked.
Wow. Hey, I've seen some shit. I've seen something on that.
Listen to me, any woman that Mike Tyson has to put a restraining order on
It's a problem.
needs to be checked.
That is facts. Them is facts. Oh, wait, hold on, wait.
I keep telling everybody, she the Ghislaine.
Man.
I'm still trying to figure out how she pulled that off. Where she was able to get a white woman to go to jail for.
Then, there is Bill Gates. Years ago, he admitted on television that spending time with Epstein was a mistake and said it was only a few dinners. But the documents suggest a closer relationship, with repeated contact and ties that went beyond casual meetings. Not long after, his marriage ended, and Melinda Gates later spoke openly about how upset she was by Epstein and how much it affected her. Bill recently denied the claims and apologized for his connection to Epstein. But many people still doubt him.
I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him. No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Even Chris Tucker's name showed up in the records connected to a flight on Epstein's jet in the early 2000s. While being listed does not automatically mean someone did something wrong, the growing number of well-known names has made one thing clear. This was not a small group, and it was not limited to one field. Chris and his team quickly moved into damage control. They said his name appeared only because he was on Epstein's private jet for a humanitarian trip to Africa focused on charity work and AIDS awareness.
Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different that was a humanitarian trip to Africa. And I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. We was with a delegation. And I met him and you don't know people, what they do in their private lives. So, yeah.
But tell me this, Chris. You was on this private plane, and you could tell that it was a private plane because they called it, was this Lolita Express?
Oh, yeah, it was a private plane. Yes. Oh, yes.
But wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you?
No. I don't know where that thing at. No. I don't think.
Was enough.
Hey, we was going to Africa to save.
According to them, the trip also included Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey, so it was meant to appear official and harmless, but almost no one accepted that.
Like, hey, I know Donald Trump. Hey, I know Kevin Spacey. Hey, I know Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, did he ever talk about these celebrities and like these stories with them or anything like that?
No, he would tell me things like I knew when he flew Clinton to Africa, which is what first put him on the map. He told me he went to Africa. He took Spacey, Chris Tucker. He would mention people's names that he was with, but he wouldn't tell me much about them themselves.
Bill Clinton actually made things worse. By now, everyone has seen the photos of Clinton inside Epstein's mansion, looking far too comfortable for someone who claimed he didn't know what was happening. For many people, that comfort said more than any public statement. And Chris was moving in those same circles during that time. Still, he wants people to believe he knew nothing at all. That's a hard sell. And just when it seemed like Katt was finished speaking, other voices joined in. As the document spread, longtime singer Jaguar Wright came forward again with her own views, adding more fuel to the ongoing talk about power in the music world. In a long interview, she said her problems with Jay-Z were not about one single event. Instead, she claimed it was something she saw develop over the years.
Adjacent to or, traveling in the same circles as the person that's been selected to be this icon. Because let's just be very clear. He was selected, just like Diddy was selected. Question is by who? Now, for many years, I minded my business about a lot of things, but a lot of things came to me. I heard a lot of things. You got to remember, this was back when I was still trying to be amicable with the industry so that I could have my career, so that I could have my life, right? Everything that I worked for, everything that I sacrificed. Up until what? 2016, 2017, I was still ignoring a lot of things. A lot of things. It wasn't until I couldn't ignore it anymore because I realized this ain't going nowhere. And then when I started seeing exactly how dangerous things had become, It was very simple. It's either you're going to speak up or they're going to keep getting away with it, or you're going to get handled up on regardless because you're not playing along the way you should be playing along. Like that's how this works. Like the people that get rewarded are the people that keep the secrets, the people that are quiet, and the people that lie for them. The people who get a pass are the people who pretend that like they don't know what's going on. And then the people that speak up are the people that, get persecuted, get framed, get trashed, are forced to go broke, that kind of shit. So yeah, like I cannot say that it was an overnight process. I was hoping. See, I was always so quick to just blame, all of the harm and just the terrible shit in the industry on Diddy. I wasn't really willing to accept the fact that they were working together.
In the end, she said she reached her limit. According to her, the industry did not reward honesty. It rewarded silence. People who kept secrets, went along with things, or acted like they saw nothing were protected. Those who spoke out, she claimed, were pushed aside, attacked, or ruined financially. Jaguar also said she once blamed all the harm she witnessed on Diddy alone. But over time, she realized the problem was bigger and more connected than she first believed. Also, that is why she struggled to accept public claims that certain powerful figures were never close or never worked together, especially when old interviews and videos seemed to show otherwise.
So, Jag, with Jay-Z and his situation, as far as the early Jay-Z, you see him with Aaliyah Young, of course, goes to Dame Dash next. You see him with Foxy Brown. You see the maturation of Beyonce and him getting with Beyonce. You see Rihanna at a young age. Is it more so, and you were young as a singer, is it more so that, when you're in this industry, men are going to most likely talk and date their peers? And it's just that technically all the new rising stars at that time
Our
were just
babies.
young women, just young kids.
Babies.
Babies.
Being ran around by grown men. Babies. I got offered my first record deal when I was 13 years old. I got offered another one when I was 15. I'm so grateful that my father said no. I ended up not signing a record deal until I was in my early 20s. And as young as that is, looking back now, at least I was a legal adult. Most of these girls, they get moved around and touched around very early on. And, and the people that have control of everything are untouchable. So how do you argue with that?
Is it of concern that before this list came out, that the people in this power they have their hands in keeping this list, suppressed?
Yeah. Come on, man. I think we're speaking about this from a place where we're trying to make it seem like things are fair and people are just and people are decent. And rather than looking at it for what it is, the one thing that all of these files and all of these documents, and let's just be clear, we're talking about 3 million documents that have been released so far. When you release that amount of information, you're doing it to fatigue people. It's going to take people quite some time to get through all of these files. And who knows how long they're going to be available. Stuff might start go missing, things of that nature. But we all should be going through and combing through every inch of everything that's going on. Because when they put that much out there, they're hoping you're going to just overlook something. They're hoping you're going to get fatigued from all of the information and you're not. We got to keep looking. Like we have like 4 people around us that are every day combing through a bit. combing through a bit. And you got to sit down and you got to take your time and look at it. What these files prove is that there are no rules, is that nothing has ever been fair. It's been being covered up. Like, that's the point.
She said denial is easier for people. It's simpler to ignore uncomfortable facts than to face them. She pointed out media voices who downplay the Epstein documents, saying things like, being mentioned doesn't mean anything, or these aren't official, or if it was just a tip line. Jaguar didn't buy it. Her question was clear. If none of it mattered, why were the files kept for so long? She said, people are quick to destroy innocent people over rumors, yet defend powerful figures whose names are linked to Epstein. To her, that makes no sense. If someone's name is tied to Epstein in any serious way, she thinks that alone should raise questions, not excuses. When the talk turned to the Department of Justice, the host asked the big question. Why were these files hidden so long? The Epstein Files Transparency Act only came in mid-2025, forcing them to be released. Before that, both the Trump and Biden administrations could have shared the information, but neither did. Jaguar was clear. This isn't about politics.
The administration, don't forget, the Biden administration had the ability to release these files as well, and they didn't either.
True.
So this isn't a political thing. Let's stop making it political. I think everyone wants to make it political. Oh, look at the politicians, and this isn't about the rappers, and this isn't about this, and this is about the politicians. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you got Democrats and Republicans equally aligned up in this whole foolishness. This is about a certain class of people in this country that have been doing all kinds of shit. And it really doesn't matter what your religious background is, what your social standing is, or what your political standing is. It really doesn't matter. This is not about them versus us, or no. This is about the weirdos and then the normal people. And not even normal people, just decent people. The problem is that the weirdos are outnumbering, it's looking like, the decent people, 10-1. Like, does anybody get that? Like, the simple fact that nobody is holding TMZ into account for anything, and they've been mentioned in these files. Harvey Levin specifically.
To Jaguar, the silence says a lot. Elon Musk's case also became more serious with the document release. Musk had said he turned down invites to Epstein's island, but emails from 2012 suggest otherwise.
Tonight, the Department of Justice releasing their final batch of files connected to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. New emails from 2012 and 2013 show billionaire Elon Musk and Epstein coordinating a possible visit to the financier's infamous island. Musk asks when the wildest party will be. In another exchange, Epstein telling Musk there is always space for you and says he will send a heli for him. It's not clear if Musk ever visited the island. Musk's name has popped up in prior releases, including from the House Oversight Committee's release from the Epstein estate. He did not respond to NBC News' request for comment, but previously called Epstein a cretin and said he never advised him. Musk told Vanity Fair that Epstein tried repeatedly to get him to his island, but he declined. Emails also show Trump Cabinet Secretary Howard Lutnick coordinating a visit in the Caribbean in 2012. It's not clear if the meetings happened. Lutnick claimed to have cut ties with Epstein in 2005.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
But the emails show drink and lunch meetings being arranged between the two well into 2012. A Commerce Secretary spokesperson said in a statement, quote, Secretary Lutnick has had limited interactions with Mr. Epstein in the presence of his wife and has never been accused of wrongdoing. The drop also includes a spreadsheet summary of complaints made to the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. It contained allegations against former President Donald Trump and former President Bill Clinton. There's no indication the FBI turned up evidence supporting the tips. And a note on the file read some of these individuals are reporting secondhand information and determined some of the tips were not credible. The DOJ later temporarily pulled the file without explanation. Both former presidents have denied any wrongdoing.
Woody Allen's name shows up many times in the files. Epstein often tried to set up dinners with Allen, sometimes including other famous people. Epstein also helped make connections for Allen's film projects. A top lawyer contacted Epstein about getting his son a role in an Allen film, and Epstein said he would check. Katt Williams also highlighted something people avoid discussing. He said some public figures act one way, but never face legal problems, even while acting like they live a very different life. To him, that difference alone should make people stop and think. He compared it to a chessboard. You don't play without pawns, and you never fully know who has which role.
Shocking.
When asked if public figures sometimes change after reaching high levels of power, Katt didn't hesitate. He said, people don't always come out the same after big decisions. Once someone crosses lines they once swore they never would, something inside them shifts. No image repair can fully restore who they used to be. He explained that pressure and offers aren't just in entertainment, they appear in every field. Some of it, he said, is human nature. People listen, stay quiet, and justify things to survive. Katt shared that even he was shocked when he personally saw how much control certain powerful figures had behind the scenes. He said there were moments when it became obvious that some people never expected to hear no. If they wanted something, they assumed the system would bend until they got it. Toward the end, the discussion touched on government agencies and old rumors. Katt didn't dismiss them. He said people often misunderstand what agencies like the FBI or CIA really do. In his view, they've always been doing their jobs. Sometimes that job means watching, documenting, and waiting for decades if needed. He made one final point that landed hard. The only reason files can appear decades later is that someone was watching and recording the whole time. And that, he said, is what should really make people uneasy. Now that the files are public, celebrities who once felt untouchable are suddenly quiet, defensive, or disappearing from the spotlight. Hollywood is uncomfortable right now.